So, when last we were together, there were some shenanigans which I only barely remember. Uh, does anyone else have fond memories of what we did last time? I remember the very last thing we did, I think, was you were talking to Asterix and she pulled out like this spherical crystal with a weird object in it. It looks kind of like a weird tadpole or a oddly colored squid or something like that. And it looks a little familiar to the alien figurine that you had found. And you had discovered that you can use it to sneak in on somebody else's thoughts while you're holding it, which is really cool. And then Fayeni decided she was going to try and figure out whether it was magical using her narwhal horn, and had this really weird waking dream that showed her an alien like structure in a canyon to the mountains just south of you. Anyone remember anything that happened prior to that, though?
We had a visit from another Chwinga. It tried to steal paper from Naya.
Ah, yes. And what was the result of that? I know you didn't kill it, thankfully.
Finally used comprehend languages to read the paper.
Oh, right. And the paper said, do you remember?
God, I wrote it down somewhere.
Death to all.
No.
So, when we return, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 3 words. It was the rubbing that you did of the 3 symbols on the obelisk. I remember that now. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's when we return.
When we return. Nice. What else do you remember from last time?
Yeah, I don't remember much.
I think there was some thought about what you may want to do next. And what
we were going into the spine.
Well, that was definitely Fayeni's idea. I think so. Just to reiterate, the general consensus among most people is it's safest for everyone if you're within the confines of these bodies of water. So Mare Dwalden, Lac Dinosphere, Red Waters, Dugan's Hole. If you go beyond those lakes out into the plains, like beyond Kelvin's Cairn, it's getting into wild country. Ilanu could probably return to the mountains and she might be fairly safe, only because Goliaths that saw her wouldn't necessarily harm her, although she could be taken captive by another tribe quite easily. But definitely for the rest of you, it's pretty dangerous going outside of those tight confines. So you're safe around 10 towns. If you wander much beyond the borders of 10 towns, you might be imperiled. At least until, you feel like you're a hero of this area or something like that. That said, though, if you go into the Discord channel in Notebook, there's a whole bunch of lovely little notes about some of the stuff that that's been going on in recent weeks. And I'll just add a note about the carvings. So this is a point of interest. We'll say a Chwinga tried to steal Naya's rubbing of 3 runes on the god obelisk. It reads, when we return. Okay, so, and then you'll see that there's some other hints and stuff going on as well, going all the way back to like at the end of August when we started. So Plan was killed by a knife wound, not by ghouls. You've got somebody else was murdered in Targos. You followed up on that, and you've even gotten the person's name. That's on October 4th. The person's name is Rogan. You know that this Horus dude in Termalaine is having some problems with the mine close to there. You're finding out a little bit more about the obelisk and the alien symbols carved in it. You've got another weird figurine, this one in a crystal orb that looks kind of like the one you found that's longer. You've come across Asterix and even saved her life. And she seems to be an arcane caster and seems to know something about this weird alien shit going on. The hunters, you'll remember. So there's real hunters, which generally live outside of the perimeter of 10 towns. So they live more in the danger zone. And they, along with the ragged barbarians, tend to follow caribou herds across the tundra. The tundra is no more really, so the caribou herds are wandering around kind of lost because there's no way to eat the grass. And the hunters now have some competition from what I've called affectionately idiot hunters. So these are people in 10 towns that are unemployed or underemployed because of the current hardship, and they're trying to learn to hunt, and they're doing a really shitty job of it, like trying to kill mama polar bears. There's Fayeni's vision of the thing in the mountains, which I guess if you want to go to, that's okay. I can kill you. I mean,
we should totally go.
Yeah. So, what tickles your fancy right now?
I think we had decided to go check out the shack, if I remember right, because everybody was like, no, we're not going to go check out your dream.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't a no, we're not going to check out your dream. It's a we'll do that much later.
You know, when we might possibly survive getting there. We all leveled up. We're going to be fine.
Yep. And so this is Hunter's Shack, right?
Rogan?
Oh,
yeah.
This shack. Yeah, I think you did check it out. That was one of the other things that happened. And so what you learned was he's also not a big fan of the children of Oral, much like the first person who was murdered, Plan in Brinchander. Actually, Plan was the second person murdered. The first person you found, Rogan, was the first person murdered, but the second person you found. How's that for confusing? Maybe I should have planned this a little bit better so it wasn't so confusing to explain to you. You also found his diary, which is how you learned about his dislike for the children of Oral and his struggle finding employment and things like that. Did you learn anything else from his journals? Trying to think.
Just that he didn't like the children, I think.
Yeah. Let me see if I wrote anything else down in Notion. Notion, be my friend. How about you just log me in? Sorry, I had to reinstall my dumb Mac from scratch. Only because I decided I was going to try a beta version of the operating system. That was dumb. That was very dumb. Yeah, there was nothing more in his journals other than not a fan of the children. Like so,
Cool.
The world is your oyster. You have leads around Termalaine. You could head back to Bryn Shander and then head east and start checking out the towns there. You have not been to Bremen, which is nearby, which is another much smaller fishing village. But they do fish like Targos does. And you haven't been to Lonelywood either. So Lonelywood is, along with Termalaine, is a prime source of lumber in this area, which has become super, super valuable because you need to make heat when the sun doesn't come up in winter. That is a really bad thing. Anything striking your fancy?
Do we want to go check out Termalaine that's going on with the mines? We might find another Chewinga there.
Sure.
Sold.
I'm game for that.
Sorry, you said fold?
I said sold. Sorry.
Oh, sold.
Like I'm sold on the. Okay, well, that works too.
Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, so a few of you still on foot, and then some of you can pile onto the dog sled with the 4 dogs. How's that gonna work? How would you like to divvy that up?
Tiny people on the sled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fudge, I think Naya's in the tiny people. You are.
And so the rest of you are on snowshoes or just on booted feet? Can't remember which.
No, we bought snowshoes.
Okay.
Snowshoes.
Okay. So
Yes.
snowshoes will get some pretty good mileage for you. Let me see if I actually put something in campaign resources. Ooh. That's interesting. Where did maybe I put it in Discord. Your travel rates. in snow.
You did.
Surviving Icewind Dale. That was a good document to pull together. I want to be rich and famous. Okay,
I want to be rich and famous.
Snowshoes, if it's clear, you can make 1.5 miles. But the dog sled can go 5 miles. So the dog sled will have to stay a little bit slow, just so it doesn't outpace you. Since you're on a road all the way to Termalaine and the conditions are clear today and you're on snowshoes, we'll need somebody to do a DC 5 survival check in order to find your way and not get lost on the road.
I can do a survival check.
All right.
Hey.
Let's see if the game log is actually working.
Can I assist anybody doing it?
I can do it if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Whoever's going to do it, if you right click on your survival skill, you can choose advantage and roll it with advantage. Or if you're using a tablet, you can long press on it and a menu will come up and you can roll with advantage.
Okay, I am trying.
There we go.
Oh, it just rolled 1, but it's okay. It was a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you get a 22. You are not in danger of falling off the path or losing your way. So, who do I want to pick on? Subject 43. Can you roll me a perception check and a D100 roll as you make your way along the path up toward Termalaine? So subject 43 is like, ooh, look at all the nice pretty snow.
Exactly, I'm distracted.
What monster? 71. Okay. So the journey up toward Termalaine goes fairly peacefully. And what I will do is I think I can actually share a picture of Termalaine with you if you would like. Rime, heart, 10 towns, Termalaine. So if you look in the notebook channel, you will see a vision of Termalaine as you're approaching it. So it's a small town. It's right on in a kind of a crook, or right in the meeting place of the sea and the woods. So you can see the woods behind it off to the right, and you can see the big lake off behind it to the left. This is a nighttime scene, so you'll remember that frequently at night you see something large flying across the night sky, and behind it trails this beautiful aurora borealis. And then the other thing you'll know about Termalaine is it has a crest, which I'll also share with you. Looks like this. So they are known for the huge fish that they have in this region. And it is the fish is actually eating a gemstone, a Termalaine gemstone, which you can find in the mines close by. So they get by on fish and gemstones, and a little bit of logging, not much. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a sense of what you're walking into. So as you approach, there's huge piles of snow to either side of the road as well. The road here is not very well maintained. You can find a path along it, but occasionally the runners of the dog sled get a little bit caught up on rocks or debris on the roadway or something like that. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of activity within the town itself. Most people seem shacked up inside and trying to stay warm and stay safe. It's a much smaller town than either Targos or Brynjander. So Brynjander is probably the largest place, and Targos is not much smaller. It took you about 4 hours to get here. Excuse me. So we'll say it's about midday, maybe 1 o'clock or something like that. You know that Targos, it seems to have a population of around 500, 600, 700 people. You know that the speaker, we have a note about him back in August. It's Speaker Oris Mastu. He is actually a tiefling, I believe. They have a little bit of a militia. They are they're pretty devout to Oral as well. Who's been in Icewind Dale for 3 years or more?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think I have.
Yeah, I think Pollux has been here a long time. Ilanu, you might be able to do this as well. Somebody, if you want, give me a history check, if you please.
Okay, I put down 4 years for subject.
Okay.
Are you good with history subject?
I'm not bad with history.
I think I have.
Int isn't my strong suit.
Oops. Not mine either. I got +0.
+1.
You're the brains.
Hey, it helps
Wow,
if you roll a
that's
19.
20. Yeah, so subject 43. We'll actually say you've likely been to Termalaine before a few times in your travels. You know that they have a militia that they can muster, and the militia is almost 10% of the town, and it includes some people who have had some dealings with ragged barbarians. So they're quite adept at looking after themselves. And there's even some, like local heroes that live up here that have sort of retired in the area. The reason they have this militia is Targos has tried to strong arm gems out of the mines, out of them for years now. So every once in a while, the speaker in Targos decides, oh, Termalaine, needs to pay us protection money or some stuff like that. And so that's not actively happening right now. Targos has some sort of other designs in mind. Nobody's quite sure what, but you can bet that Targos is up to almost no good almost all the time. What else would you know? Subject 43. Yeah. So when the everlasting night came, Termalaine decided they were immediately going to take the suggestion of the children of Oral and start doing some sacrifices, some personal sacrifices. And so once every 10 days, so once a month, the entire town of Termalaine goes without lighting fires for one night, which makes it get very, very cold, and it's a very miserable experience. But they believe that their suffering will show that they're deeply, deeply devoted to the Frostmaiden, and that she'll end this everlasting night. So far, that has not worked.
They really wanted to suffer, they'd chop off a finger.
Oh my god, that's so dark. Well, you could wind up losing a finger to frostbite if you keep like your chimney off for very long.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else? What else can I tell you about Termalaine? So, there's a town hall in the center of town. There is there's an inn called the East Side, which is on the east side of town, and you enter from the south. It's brilliantly named. And there's also a tavern down by the docks, which is like the red clam or the yellow, like some colored clam that you don't quite remember. But it's sort of on the north side of town, close to the body of water. And so what I will do is
I'll make sure to tell everyone that bad mouthing the daughters of whatever is a bad idea in this town.
The Children of Oral.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, somebody might take offense to it. For sure. Okay.
Any dead bodies?
There are no dead bodies that you can see right now, Fayeni. Thanks for checking in, though. So look, because some of the party have lived here for a long time, I'm giving you access to a more detailed map of each of the towns, so you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of time like wandering around and knocking on doors and figuring out what these buildings are. You can see that I'm giving away the tavern is actually called the Blue Clam, but Subject 43 will know, oh yeah, there's a tavern over that away somewhere. If we want to drink and if we want to get a good night's sleep, it's the inn off to the east of us.
I would say that I've probably been to Termalaine quite a bit, getting fish skulls to carve.
Probably, actually. There are a lot of scrimshaws up here. And back before Mayor Dwalden was freezing over, there would have been a really, really active trade in knucklehead trout and their skulls being sent south and stuff. So you probably would have actually come up here to learn the craft in the first place.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So if you're a drinker, you would know the blue clam very well. And you would just ignore everything I said about the pink clam or red clam or whatever I said.
But the Subject 43 doesn't eat or drink, he probably wouldn't.
Right. Heaven forbid you try and fit in. Sorry, that sounded mean.
I got no mouth.
And a fun little throwback to the party we were having in a completely different dungeon, a joke that a few of you will get. The innkeeper at the east side is named Marta. Marta Preskrick.
So I know where we're going.
So any information about the town I'll obviously relay to the others, the East Side Inn, the Blue Clam off the docks.
Okay. And what do people think? Is there anything that strikes you as curious that you want to check out? Aside from
I
what
want to check out the gem mine.
Okay. You're not entirely sure where the gem mine is. Just that it's in some hills fairly close to Termalaine, on the way to Calvern's Cairn. But beyond that, it would be tough for you to know exactly where you would be going.
Should we go to the town hall to see if they want us to help?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So, subject 43, you'll be able to drag the party down the main streets toward the town hall. So do.
And
feel
he
free if
totally
anyone
wouldn't
wants.
get distracted by anything.
Sorry?
He totally wouldn't get distracted by anything or any sightseeing or, you know.
So all of the houses on sort of the main street here that you're walking down, or this street that you're walking down anyway, all of the houses are kind of closed up. They've got beautiful that beautiful glow of like fireplaces and lanterns and things like that lit throughout the houses. So it's there's a lot of light in the houses here as opposed to Targos, which is more of a dimly lit place. You can occasionally hear some activity of people inside the houses. It sounds like there's some joyfulness, dare I say, happening in Termalaine. And as you continue along, so you get to this point and you can see there's a set of buildings just north of you, and the buildings look like buildings that used to be used for processing fish when fishing was more vibrant in this part of the world. And there are some people moving around outside of the buildings, and there are some fish on the outside of the buildings that are on these big, thick wooden plank tables, or big planks that are on thick stumps of wood holding them up. And they look to be like gutting the fish and removing heads and cleaning the heads and stuff like that. There's probably 4 or 5 individuals doing this right now. You can see that at this point, Mayor Dewalden is quite frozen. However, you can see drag marks where small boats have been dragged across the frozen ice, all the way to presumably where the ice is broken up so that they can continue to try and fish some more.
I'll give the fish and chopping people a head nod as we continue on.
Okay.
Is it time for a fishing minigame?
Nice.
Oh God.
I'm not sure how we would work that, but yeah, if you're interested, I can try and wizard something up maybe over the break or next week. We're gonna play Fisher Folk. Suddenly half the people draw. All right. So you're continuing along, and Fayeni.
Yes.
You and let me make sure I get this right.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, exactly. I'm running out of screens for my DMing tools, unfortunately. Oh shoot. Wrong mouse. Ha! Oh, this is gonna kill me. So Fayeni, Naya, Pollux, and Subject 43. So everybody but Ilanu. You notice that there's a person. So just as you're coming up between these buildings, if you look at the point, you can see a little alleyway between a horizontal and two vertical buildings. There's kind of a character crouched in the alley who's looking at you with like kind of dagger eyes a bit. He's got like this sneer on his face. His stubble is 6-7 days old. Definitely not a beard. Definitely kind of scraggly looking. Hair's really, really greasy. His clothes are really ill mended. There's some tears here and there. His skin looks quite dark, but it doesn't look naturally dark. It looks like he's in some sort of severe dirtiness state or something like that. Like Pigpen. But kind of seedy looking.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that is pretty.
There's a lot of water. We give shower?
Oh, man.
I don't think I'd want to go anywhere near that dude.
I'm gonna be like, we should go faster.
I'll wave.
Of course you will.
He gives you a scowl that if there was a voice to the scowl, it would be saying something like piss off. But he doesn't make a
I'm not going to press
or
it.
anything. He just, stays leaning up against the building.
Ilanu will approach him.
All right.
I guess we stopped the dog sled.
So he kind of turns a bit. So he was laying with leaning with both shoulder blades up against the building. He turns a bit, so it's mostly just his left shoulder on the building, and he crosses his arms as Ilanu approaches. Ilanu gets a few more steps closer, and you see him shift away from the building. Ilanu gets even closer, and his hands drop down by his waist, and he starts looking around a little, and he looks back over his shoulder, and he starts to look a little bit terrified. And you don't even need an insight check for that. You're pretty convinced he's terrified. He pulls a small dagger from his belt. It's really more of like almost like an awl for punching holes in leather or something like that than it is a dagger. It's fairly long, like maybe 3.5 inches long. I don't remember what that is in centimeters. 18 centimeters long, maybe. No, it'd be more like 10. Anyway, doesn't matter. And he kind of points the awl to you, toward you, Ilanu, and he grunts at you in common. What do you want?
Ilanu won't know if you need help. And she's gonna kind of chuckle at the dagger all thing. Mine bigger. Pats her sword. Just to like set the scene, she's not trying to be intimidating. This is Ilanu nice.
All right. Ilanu is bigger. In many ways, yes. So he kind of looks at you, Ilanu, and he lowers the awl a bit, not completely down to his side, but he doesn't know what to make of you. He grunts a bit. Ugh, I've never talked to a Goliath before. You are Goliath? Or are you a verbal? I don't even know how to tell the difference.
For Ilanu, Goliath big, flexes.
He points the awl unthreateningly at subject 43. Oh, that's a furbolg, right?
No, man.
No.
Not.
Ilanu not know what 43 is. Ilanu think 3?
Right. Note to DM, next time in session 0, species, genus, family, all of that must be revealed for each of the characters, because sometimes it gets confusing. So this kind of dirty, sly little bugger looks at you, Ilanu, and he sticks his awl into his belt, and he says, I don't think you can help me. I don't think anyone can help anyone around here right now. It's just misery all around. The fact that this idiot town thinks turning off the fireplaces once a month is going to do anything when it hasn't done anything for 6 months now. I don't know where they get these stupid ideas from. And Oris, that good-for-nothing piece of shit speaker, he's certainly not going to do anything.
Okay,
Sounds
hold on.
like you have a
Sorry. See how big muscle are? Ilanu help. but why, man, so dirty?
I've basically been trying to collect charcoal out of people's fireplaces to make ends meet, and I can't be bothered trying to clean up anymore. There's just no point anymore in anything.
Okay, hold on. Ilanu's gonna toss a cold coin at him.
Okay.
Sorry, life hard. We go, talk speaker now. Bye!
He looks down in the snow at the coin, almost in utter and sheer disbelief. He hasn't seen a piece of gold in probably the better part of 2 years. Picks it up and he's like, are you rich folk or something?
Nope.
No. We are no.
Crag hat.
Well, I'll tell you, you won't find Oris there at the town hall. If you really want to find him, check out the Blue Clam. He's going to be down there drinking for sure.
Man, why are all the speakers hanging out at bars?
Who knows? Must be because of it's good drinking.
There you go.
Well, I guess we should head to the Blue Clam then.
All right.
Actually, before we go, the guy's dirtiness is bothering Naya. She's gonna use prestidigitation on him.
Yes. Forcefully clean this man.
So he feels like a tingling and kind of looks at himself and sees his hands first. And he's just like completely dumbstruck as to what's happened. And he pulls up one of his sleeves and looks down at his arm and sees it's like this, pale color that he hasn't seen in literally months and months and months. And he runs over to a window and he wipes the snow off really fast and scratches at the frost in it and kind of looks at his face, and he holds his hands to his face, and he literally like tears up and looks to all of you, not realizing that it was Naya that did it, and said, "Oh, you're a gift."
Aww.
And then he just
I'm
Oh.
gonna cry.
So
She's
scary
going
now
to-
that he's cleaned up.
All right.
Ilanu will pat his head.
Nice. Yeah, he's a little bit taller than waist height. Judging by his size and such, you would guess he'd be an excellent miner if that was his previous occupation.
Oh, does anyone want to ask his name, or is it like unidentified PC?
The squeaky clean one. Maybe we could just call him Lemony Fresh.
Fayeni will ask his name.
Mr. Clean? His name is
As Don generates
Sigund.
one really quick.
Sigund. Sigund. Sigund.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Sigund. You were kind of scary at first, but now you're not.
I'm just typing a note in the notebook. Sigund is the clean, semi-helpful townsperson in Termalaine.
Can we take him with us?
What?
Like a pet?
I mean, kind of. Like, as long as we're in the town, can we just like drag him along with us? He knows stuff.
Are you asking?
I'm gonna
hire him as a guide?
I don't know. I'm gonna be like, come get on the dog sled. I will walk with Ilanu. You come stand on this.
I have chimneys to clean.
They'll still be dirty later. It's okay.
I mean, they're not going to be using them if they're going to be going with like the no fires for night or something, right?
Yeah. Besides, we need you. You know things, and we don't know things. I'll persuade him.
I could. Okay, yeah, persuade him. Let's see how this goes.
Yep.
Oh wow. So he looks at you,
Please come with us.
and he's like, "Oh, I really should be diligent with my chimneys, but I guess you've been so generous with this gold piece." And he looks down at it in awe. And you've done so much for me already. And he looks at his clean hands and the gold piece in his clean hands, and he sheds a tear again, and he's like, "Okay, I I can help you find your way around town. If you're looking for Oris, I would suggest the Blue Clam.
Lead the way, man.
Oh, shoot. He'll have to do it from Ilanu's arms because she feels bad for him and cradles him like a baby as they walk.
I'll get back on the dog sled then.
All right.
Oh,
While cradling the grown man, I want to suggest maybe we take a 10-minute break. And we will reconvene and head toward the Blue Clam 10 minutes from now, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Sounds
sure.
Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in a bit.
Are we back?
I'm here.
I'm here, and if you're here, and you're here, and I'm here.
So if we're here and Dawn's not here,
That means we're in charge.
Players revolt.
Quick,
Mutiny.
somebody roll a d20.
there you go.
It's a 10, we win.
She'll look behind her. Little magic, what can he do for us?
We heard. I'm gonna walk up to Ilanu and be like, we heard there was trouble at the mine, so we came to help.
Ah, yes, mines. Worry? Fight?
We're good at that.
And pats her sword like, he has to go.
Apparently you all are the ones that are good at fighting. I'm just the one that's good at cleaning.
Out of character, we needed a maid.
Oh no! So the half orc kind of sits up a little bit straighter. Ilanu, give me a perception check, please.
Okay. How good are your eyes, dear? +1. Not terrible. Yay!
You would estimate that poor Oris here has had the better part of 5 or 6 ale. His eyes are kind of bloodshot and bleary. You notice that when he focuses on you, Ilanu, it's for a few moments, and then his eyes tend to drift off and be kind of glassy and unfocused on anything. And you would guess that his mind is similarly, briefly focusing, followed by a bunch of disfocused, random thoughts about what might be going on around him. He does sort of. He has this really concerted effort to look at you, Ilanu, and then to kind of go down the line, looking at Fayeni and Naya and Subject 43. His eyes linger there a little bit, and then looking at Pollux as well, and he looks at Fayeni and says, "Are you here to help?"
Yes, we are.
So, Fred comes over at this point, and he has picked up a pretty substantial-looking club that maybe Subject 43 noticed he picked up from where it was leaning against the wall. And he comes over and he looks at Oris, and then he looks at Ilanu and Fayeni and the rest of you. And he looks back at Oris and says, "Listen, you're not thinking of giving them money to deal with this mine, are you? That's town money. You got no right." And Oris kind of looks down sheepishly and seems to be at a loss for words.
Slowly turns her head towards the new person, like, who the hell are you?
I'm Fred the Ill-Named, remember?
Fred? Oh, sorry. I thought someone you came in. My brain fart! And he doesn't actually say who the hell are you, she just kind of like glares at him like, how dare you?
Fred, you seem grumpy.
Listen, this shit's been pissing away town money for ages. He ain't done nothing to clear out the mines. He's done nothing since becoming speaker. Like, give us Shailene back. At least she could get shit done. I don't know who this piss fuck thinks he is, but he can't do anything right. And Oris looks like he's going to make a move. He looks bleary-eyed at the Great Club. And he slouches back down on his stool. A bit silent.
We just want to help with the mines. We're not here to take care of politics.
Yeah, no need to be rude.
Fred looks
Wait,
at you.
if we're here for to clean mines, clean out a mine, why am I cleaning up the tavern? Because the tavern's not the mine?
Nice. Fred looks to you, Pollux, and he looks at you quizzically for a moment and says, "Hey," and kind of like twitches his head a bit at you, Pollux, and says, have you been learning the ways of the Ragged tribes?
I don't know, have I?
That would be a no.
Oh, okay. Maybe. What's it to you?
Huh. Thought you might be able to handle yourself a bit. I've had a bit of training from them myself. And he kind of straightens up and he looks at you like, I'm a tribal warrior. Try that on for size.
I just kind of roll my eyes at him.
That is exactly what Fred deserves. Fred and all of his 11 hit points. Yeah. But Fred does look like he's swung that club a time or two at things other than at training dummies. So, yeah, maybe there's a reason why Oris is a little bit worried about him. So Oris looks back at Fred and says, "Look, you may have the ear of some in the militia." And Fred says, "Correction, all of the militia, Oris." And Oris looks a bit sheepish for a moment, but then says, "I am speaker of this town. I represent us within 10 towns. I am the one to make my way to Bryn Shander every year, not you. It is my place to fend for the town and its interests. And if I will pay these fine folk," and he makes this sweeping grand gesture toward the heroes, "I will do so out of the town coffers, and it is none of your concern."
Yeah, man. Listen to the speaker.
A little bit silent.
You sound like Chief.
Fred kind of gives this humph sound and purposefully kind of thuds his club down into the floor, but does seem to back off a few paces and look at Oris and says, "Well, we can't leave our posts. Never know what Targos is up to. They might be here anytime trying to clean this town out. So I guess if you want to try and get these folk to look out at the gem mine and see what's going on, I guess that'd be alright with me." Oris looks very, very pleased with himself.
Happening at the gem mine.
Sorry, what was that, Fayeni?
What is happening at the gem mine? What are we helping with?
Sigund could probably tell you just as good as anyone. I think he was there around that time. And Sigund kind of looks at Ilanu and looks at Naya, looks at all of you then, and says, I used to work in the mine up until about 8 weeks ago. There was somebody who was really short, but he had an accent like he was a hunter from the north, but he was short, smaller than you even, and he looks at Pollux and Fayeni. But he spoke in a clear tone, spoke like a northerner, used northerner words, and said that he and his folk needed to take over the mine a bit. That if we left peacefully and let them have it till spring came, then no harm would come to us or Termalaine itself. But if we sought to interfere with them, they would raise the town. R-A-Z-E. So we left. We done packed up and we left. And I thought that some of the other small folk there looked like maybe tiny goblins or and they were speaking this really harsh language that sounded weird. I've never heard anything like it. Not like him. He spoke like a northerner.
So you need us to go get them to leave?
Well, I could go back to earning a good living. He kind of smiles a bit at that.
How many people are we talking about here?
How many people working in the mine?
How many people do we have to clear out of the mine?
Oh, I don't know. There might have been a dozen of them.
And they were tiny?
Had weapons and they looked fierce. Well, I couldn't really see them, to be truthful. They were all covered up in thick furs, but they sounded fierce. And they definitely had weapons.
Fayeni's just gonna look at everybody else like,
Sounds like fun with me, to me.
It's either going to be really good or really bad. Let's do it.
Sigund brightens up a bit and says, "Listen, I could lead you to the mines if you want."
yes. Yeah, we don't know where to...
All right. He kind of looks all he looks all kind of proud of himself. Like he's figured out something really meaningful for his life. And he looks to you, Pollux, and to Ilanu and says, when do you want to leave?
You had a long rest recently?
Yeah, you would have had a long rest, probably before leaving Targos and coming up here. So other than the 4-hour journey here and the faffing around with the lovely, calm, gentle folk of the Blue Clam Tavern, you are well rested indeed.
Okay, now it's good. Now good. Yay.
Naya's gotten out of clean exercise, so she's happy.
Yes, you can hear it in my unbridled enthusiasm.
Nice. All right. Sigund actually reaches over. Beside Oris's mug is this big, like, thick fur hat. It's kind of like those big, thick hats that are commonly worn in Russia in the winters. So really thick, with like these little flaps that come down over the ears and almost look comical, like your head looks 3 times the size of what it actually is. And so Sigund actually grabs Oris's hat and plunks it on his head and says, "Great, I'm ready to go," and marches back to the door. And he actually grabs a set of snowshoes that are sitting beside the door that clearly he did not enter with, and seems to be very proud of his new status in life right now.
Yeah, he can do that. It's Sigund.
Nice. So he holds open the door briefly. You get some looks by people at nearby tables that are like giving you close the goddamn door eyeballs. You want to follow?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So, let me... So the journey to the gem mine is maybe close to 2 hours. I will endeavor to move you. On to this. So give me 1 sec. I will just drop your tokens on a map, and I need to get rid of a little bit of fog of war so you can see something. Right now, oops. So I want to do this.
I did.
I didn't. Not yet, anyway. So all right, and then let me drop your characters on here. So you should see a little cavern right now, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Great! Thank you for being able to see something. Or thank you for letting me know you can see something. Whoa! That's not what I meant to do. I want to do this. No wonder things are not working well. Fayeni, nice butt. I mean Naya, and Subject 43. Oh. So it's a little bit cramped in here. Let me clear a little bit more of the fog of war away. So some of these corridors that you can see slightly down. So there's there. And Naya can see down here a bit. And you can also see down into this hallway a bit as well. So right now you're standing. So you've entered this gem mine through a cavern in the side of a hill, and the cavern has a steep slope going down. Down, 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 down. It becomes a little bit damp and moist. You're a little bit concerned about your footing, especially given you're in these really thick, kind of furry boots on the inside, and their soles are not very good for walking around in this area. There's a little bit of condensation down here. It's a little bit warmer at times and then gets quite chilly at times as well as you're making your way down this corridor. And it eventually opens up into this really rough-hewn room after about 160 feet down. 160 feet down this cavern. So in this room are some very some thin racks covered in things like picks and hammers and some like iron spikes that look like they've been used as chisels and stuff like that. The floor itself is covered with a bunch of rock dust and just littered with tracks going everywhere down all three of these caves. And it looks like the tools, the picks and the hammers and the chisels have been used quite a bit recently.
Well, I'm going to produce flame in my hand so I can see.
All right.
And then I'm going to look to the others like, alright, which way do we go from here?
Are there footprints?
There's footprints everywhere, going in every which direction from here.
Is there a way to tell like which ones are freshest?
Give me a survival check, please.
How do I do that?
So if you go to your character sheet and click on the number beside survival, it should roll it in. There you go. 21. So, yeah, Pollux, you're looking down at the tracks and you're like, hey, you see these? These are like bare humanoid reptilian-like feet. Small little buggers, even smaller than Fayeni and I. And they're differentiated from the majority of the tracks, which look to be more humanoid booted type tracks. And so there are, so the smallish, it looks like maybe a giant lizard, but probably bipedal or something like that. They go off in all directions from this area. And then there's some even smaller tracks that look like rats, but quite large for rats. And they go both to the west and to the south. So there's humanoid tracks of around the size of an elf or a human or something like that. There's these like reptilian type tracks that look bipedal, and they go off in all directions from this cavern. And there's some tracks that look like some sort of rodent, but quite large, and they go off to the south and to the east.
I'm gonna tell everyone that. Ilanu be able to tell what species they are because of her frigid tracker?
That is an interesting question. Give me a survival check at advantage, please. Ilanu, these are definitely tracks of an Icewind Dale kobold. So they're very similar to typical kobolds, but they're only found in this northern region, and they're slightly adapted to living up here. And then the other footprints that are of some sort of a large rodent, they look like an oversized rat.
Points. That's ice kobold. Little dragon people. That's big rats. Look.
It's a really big rat.
Big. Like, can you tell just about how big it would be from the tracks?
You would think it's like the size of a medium dog.
Is like boy size.
Oh, that's too big.
What? No, like Boy the dog?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah, Boy Goliath? That would be a big problem for everyone.
Well, we've got a polar bear and a yeti, so I think we'll be fine.
We might be able to befriend him.
Yes.
Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you. I can speak with animals at will without expending a spell slot.
Well, that makes it easy.
Wow. Fayeni's awesome.
Oh, and if we need to speak with little dragon people, if they speak dragon, I can speak with them.
Let's go make us some friends.
There you go.
Giant rat friends. Little magic and little rage can use mount.
And then the three of you can use the dog sled and it'll just be perfect.
Oh my god, we got a plan. This is awesome. Okay, I'm excited. Let's go.
I don't know if the three of us left could actually. Never mind. I'm pretty sure I just end up in Ilanu's like arms or something.
Yeah.
Ilanu is good for
Although I don't think the dogs could haul that.
It's okay, it's on a sled.
Alright, so you should have free control of your tokens. If somebody wants to start moving down a hallway, the narrator will come in narrator voice and let you know what's going on. Remember, do not split up the party. Fayeni, just hold tight there for a second. So the hallways that you're walking down here are actually fairly tall for a mine. Not quite tall enough for Ilanu to get through, but you and Pollux find this a breeze. Subject 43, you hear some scraping of his antlers, both on the sides of the wall and against the roof from time to time. But everybody seems to be getting through semi-okay. The hallway in front of you opens up a bit into more or less two side passages. And you can hear... Give me a survival check, Fayeni.
I'm good at this. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, you hear what you think is some moving water ahead of you and to the left.
To the left?
Yeah, your left. So it would be like I can't ping, but this direction.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, your character's left.
Do I hear anything coming from the other direction?
Dead silence. Foreshadowing.
I'm gonna tell Pollux, since she's right behind me, it sounds like there's water coming up from the left.
Ooh. Let's go.
Let's go? Okay.
Then go ahead.
Friends.
Yes.
I'm gonna call out loud back to everybody and be like, come on, we're going to make friends, like very loudly and excitedly.
Okay. 1 sec, and I'll open it up a little bit more for you there. I am a bit lost here. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. So you can see. Oh, god damn it! Yeah.
I do have my hooded lantern out, so I can see.
You can see something that looks kind of like that. So after only a few feet, the mine again branches sort of left and right. You get a sense up to your left here, there's a fairly expansive open space. And the water right now is coming more from your right.
The water is up here?
The water is to your character's right. So it sounds like it's coming from this direction here. And this seems like it opens up into a larger space, this direction.
Are we following the water?
We're following the healer.
Nice.
This is a bad idea.
All right. So, Fayeni, you're walking along, and you can now distinctly hear that there's water moving in a cavern ahead of you. Just as you're rounding the corner, you can see it opens up into a large space. With a big pillar in the center of it, and just beyond that, there's some water that's moving rapidly from the northern wall, through a hole in the northern wall, through the room, and then going into a small hole on the southern wall. And then you hear kind of like really fast running water or rapids or something like that coming from the room.
But it's empty? It's just water?
So the room itself, there's a few little alcoves here and there that your lantern light doesn't quite get into from the area you're standing in right now. There is some small bits of litter, like some wood and maybe some small sticks laying about here and there.
Okay. Well, it looks empty aside from some trash.
So as you get there, Fayeni, you actually see a little thing. Am I able to make this maybe a little bit smaller?
It's a friend.
It's not quite a friend. There we go. So that apparently is 3 feet long.
A wild Pokemon appears.
There's a few other them as well, and they're making kind of clicking, chittering noises and coming out, and they kind of sniff the air toward you, toward you, Fayeni, and you can see they've got like big teeth. And they don't look very friendly in their disposition toward you.
I'm going to speak with animals.
All right. What would you like to say?
I'd like to pull out some rations and toss them on the ground in front of me and be like, "Hello, friends. How are you doing?"
Give me a so one of the lead rats says, "I'm hungry."
I tossed out rations. You can eat those.
It kind of looks over and sniffs at it, and it looks at you and tilts its head a bit, and with these big vicious teeth says, "This is clean," and it looks like it's disgusted.
It's picky. I'm going to tell everybody that they're picky and they don't like rations.
What do they like?
What do you like? I asked them.
Meat. I like the blood when it's all over my whiskers. And it looks at you hungrily.
I was gonna offer to, like, make the rations taste and smell like that, but never mind, I can't quite manage the blood.
So Fayeni, you see most of these rats are almost like their shoulders come up to mid-thigh on you. They're quite massive.
Guys are big.
And they kind of move in a little closer to you. And they're sniffing at the air. They're looking at you.
Y'all are kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. I want to try to touch one.
We can ride these, though.
No, they're too small for that.
Oh my god. My party is just looking for more mounts. All we want in life is pets and mounts. Thank you very much.
We need 10 companions.
So I'm gonna
I seem to recall that from somewhere.
I'm gonna turn back to everybody and tell them, like, I don't think they're gonna be too friendly. They're being friendly right now-ish, but I think that they might try to bite us.
A little rude.
Fayeni, give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay. I can do that. No, I can't.
So this rat in the middle here, which I will highlight in cyan, it kind of snaps at you and comes just like whiskers from your left shin as you're looking over your shoulder to talk to the others. And it's like, "We're hungry. We want to..."
We go get you some food. Food that you don't have to fight for.
Will you hurry?
Yeah, we'll go super fast.
Will you?
Ilanu's kind of sad. Can they see Ilanu because the first two people are like half her size?
Everyone can see Ilanu.
She is flexing. If you want me to roll intimidation.
Yes, please.
Can you intimidate a rat?
When you're
We're
7
gonna
or 8
try.
feet tall, the answer is yes. So the rats now see, a couple of fairly confident people, followed by a really, really, really big flexy person, and they back off a little bit and say, "Okay, find us food quickly. We're hungry."
I'm gonna turn to everybody and be like, I might have signed us up to find food for the rats.
And they do back off a bit, and they give you some room, Fayeni, and they're not sniffing at you or snapping at you anymore.
Oh, cuckoo, could you? Let's go find some food.
Right.
Maybe we feed them cobalt.
Do you guys eat cobalt?
Yes, kobolds bleed, if you mean the scaly rats.
Yes. Are they evil or are they mean?
They don't bother us much. We are many.
Okay.
Can you tell us where they're at? Or can they tell us where they're at?
Can you tell us where they are?
Deep in the caves.
They said deep in the caves.
They did.
Well, I guess we should go search them. They tell us exactly where they're at, we can come back quicker.
If you tell us exactly where they are, we can come back quicker.
One of the rats pulls out a tablet, goes to Google Maps, and starts looking up some coordinates, and then airports to you. Alas, your journal that you record entries in is not electronic and cannot receive the data. Sorry, bye-bye.
And can one of you come with us to find them?
We are too hungry to follow you. Go find
Oh.
food.
They said no, they won't come with us.
Well, they're just rather unhelpful.
I'm gonna push Pollux and be like, we should go.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, I'm gonna dub this like shitty NPC night. And I didn't really mean for it to turn out that way, but it's certainly got a theme going here, right?
They're not bad. We cleaned a dude up and he helped us and led us straight where we needed to go.
Yeah.
Sigund's been good to you.
And we just avoided a fight with the 5-6 rats.
Indeed.
Wow.
What else awaits you, though?
We're gonna go make more friends and it's gonna work out perfect.
Nice. I love your optimism. Makes me happy. So, Naya, you appear to be in the lead.
Oh, joy. Closer, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. So hold up there for a moment and let me reveal to you the cavern area you are going into. So, yep.
Yeah. Mistakes were made.
Yeah, so it does open up into another, fair-sized cavern here. It's got kind of a rampway on both the left and right sides of the room that kind of lead up into a larger, almost like a shelf above the main part of the room. So this room looks like it's been under active mining activity. So the walls on the north, the east, and the south sides, so in this semicircle that you can see, they've all been hacked up quite a bit by picks and by hammers and by chisels. You can see a lot of rock fragments that have been thrown down onto the floor off of the shelf area. And you can see a lot of booted prints that have been carrying presumably heavy loads. And you can see those booted footprints go down both sides off of the shelf and through this passageway to the west here. Not the one that you're in, but the one that's just north of you right now.
Right.
So all along, sort of, let me find a good color like orange. All along this area here has seen heavy mining activity with lots of obvious, pickaxe marks and hammer and chisel marks. And then a lot of the rock material has been thrown down here and eventually cleaned up in parts and moved out of this area. But otherwise, it seems fairly empty here.
Seems empty, huh? I'm gonna look at the ceiling.
So the ceiling is actually quite tall here. It's about 33.5 feet up at its highest peak. It also looks like it's been chiseled out. And it seems like it's been chiseled that high in order to make lots of room on this upper shelf bit, so people can work in that area quite freely and swing axes over their heads and things like that.
You didn't pick up.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
Sorry?
So I guess we go back?
It looks like there are stairs near Pollux.
Yeah, there's some stairs that go vaguely, I think, down. Oh, wrong mouse. Yeah, they descend down a little bit from where Pollux is. So give me a sec, and I'll reveal a little bit more space to you. Pollux, you can see it opens up into a cavernous area with an exit to your right. And in order to get up there, there's a bit of a you'd have to kind of jump up a bit. This is almost like a ledge that is that's kind of eye level to you. So in this area, the area is fairly clean here, unlike a lot of the other areas that you've been in that have had lots of rock dust and loose rubble and things like that. So this area is quite clean. Excuse me. It's got some benches and some tables set up, and it looks like they've been set up for Somebody give me, I guess, a history or a survival check. Or if somebody's got some masonry skills, I will let you add your proficiency bonus if you're not normally proficient in either of those.
Actually, I am proficient in masonry.
Both rocks. Rocks.
Subject's got proficiency in mason's tools.
Okay, yeah. Subject 43, you're probably the best to make this roll.
Alright, so you said survival or history or something?
Yeah, but make sure to add your proficiency bonus if you're not normally proficient in them.
It doesn't matter.
You think that this room is used for some sort of processing by gem workers or something, but you can't really be sure. It's noticeably different than where people would do mining, though.
You lost Liberty.
Oh no! Fell asleep, head hit the keyboard, disconnected from Discord.
That's usually my move.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's okay, self-burn.
I mean, either that or the baby decided to fling arms and legs around and,
Did you guys hear the baby cooing earlier? My heart was mental.
So sweet.
I gotta say, it's a pretty cool D&D night for me. I like the crew that we have, and I like the baby noises in the background, and we'll just see if we get Liberty back in a few minutes.
Maybe it's a good time to take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, if you want, let's do 5 minutes, and we'll see you back here. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
think we have her back. Anyone here? Yes.
Okay, I don't know what just happened. Like, I lost, like, being able to hear anything, and Discord decided it didn't want to connect anymore. And I was like, oh no!
We were missing the cooing baby noises.
Well, he's upstairs right now.
Oh, he's adorable.
Oh, yes. When he's not wailing.
Got the fun side tonight. The cute baby side.
That's always the thing, right? Everyone's like, babies are so adorable, but then they don't have to spend the hours the parents do.
Right, when they're like screaming just because you're changing a diaper.
My brother and I have a 10-year difference, and I just remember, like, when we take him to parties, he would always be such the cutest little baby boy, and then we get home, and it's like 10 diapers in an hour, and he won't stop crying because he's hungry, but he won't take his bottle.
Aww.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate.
We called the break for 5 minutes because we wanted to see if you'd come back. So I think
I appreciate that. I had to like I had to like turn off my phone and restart it. Just get it to come back.
we're glad you're back.
Thank you. Oh no, you're good. I was like trying to figure out, I was like, how can I communicate that's not Discord? I was like, I don't know, I'm so confused.
I'm back. Bryan's in the restroom.
Yep.
Hi!
Yeah, it's okay. No, we don't have to. It's okay.
I have a question. Did we bring Sigmund with us? Aww. If anything happens to Sigmund, I'll kill everyone and then myself.
That seems a little drastic.
I think you hear water, guys.
We should follow it.
Oh no. Like, when you say rickety, like, would I feel comfortable walking on it? No.
Investigation.
Or perception, maybe? Like, maybe straight intelligence, then? Ah, they're both the same. Ooh! I'm gonna turn to Fayeni and point at the rickety bridge thing, and then give her 2 thumbs up, and then I'm gonna start walking at it.
I'm gonna do the same thing to Naya behind me.
Oh, sorry. I'm coming.
Oh, is he actually coming down here with us?
Can we hear any better in this room, or is it still very loud? And then I'll point to the pulley system, and I'll kind of like shrug my shoulders at Fayeni and just kind of see what she said. What she, I guess.
I'm gonna motion up or down, and then hold my arms out in like a non-moving shrug to be like, I don't know which way we should go.
Does it go both ways? I'll point down, and I guess I'll get on it.
I'm gonna nod in agreement and hop on too.
I think we'll go down.
Yeah.
Like kobold foot traffic? Yeah. Is it easier to talk now that we're down? Can we get off the disc and send it back up? Or do they have to pull it up? Yeah. So we can kind of get them coming down.
Okay. So then I guess it's my turn to ride the roller coaster. No, I mean the elevator. On the highway. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you want to follow the multiple footprints or the single?
Follow the single.
Okay. Sorry, grab. uh, I don't know. You were doing a really good job of being Naya. Suppose we probably should. Yeah. We might need one of the bigger ones to, be between us and biting things. If you don't send it out, you have an inkling feeling Ilanu might just jump down. Actually, that would be worth it!
Go home. No. I'll step on and do the same thing and lower myself down. That makes two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of want our Goliath.
No Goliath left behind.
Okay, she is sending Sigmund down first because if she breaks this platform, at least he's not stuck up here with only one person protecting him. Okay, so I would like to, please.
Oh no!
Awesome. Okay. When she gets them, um,
Ooh.
Oof.
Can I grab her?
Oh,
Ew.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, sorry, all. It will indeed be a cliffhanger. All right, so I royally screwed up on the stream